Have you ever looked around your home and thought, this chaos is kind of sexy? No, me neither. So take a seat and let's get cozy, because I'm about to take you on a voyage of discovery that'll change the way you organise your home forever. I've spent 4 weeks scouring the earth and the depths of the internet to hunt for the best kept secrets of home organisation. Over the coming weeks, I will reveal how I've applied those secrets to every nook and cranny of my home, from my sewing room to my workshop, from my bathroom to the dressing room, and everywhere in between. But today is about the big picture. I'm here to share 3 things with you. I'll start by covering the fundamental weaknesses in every organisation system you've tried. Then I'll explain the 3 key engineering principles which should underpin all of the decisions you make when it comes to organising your home. And finally, I'll reveal the 4 free systems of home organisation that you can use to solve every problem, and that are completely open source. These will free you forever from proprietary and limited systems, creating an adaptable and evolving ecosystem of storage that you can use any way you want in your home. Throughout this video, I'll also tease you with glimpses of how I've applied this to my home, and tell you about a treasure trove of free goodies that I've made that will allow you to do the same. So strap in and let's get organising. It is said that the average home harbours over 300,000 items, and this number is growing. From tape measures to cutlery, USB cables, right down to the very last screw. Every second it takes for you to find them reduces your efficiency. It's your life it's stealing. Well, picture me knee-deep in the anarchy of my sewing room, yet again craving order.
What do you mean I need to tidy?
I flirted with every storage solution under the sun. Pegboards, stackable boxes, IKEA units, Tupperware, really useful drawers, you name it. And they all work. Until they don't. You see, the trouble is that change is the only constant, and soon they all falter. Something changes. It doesn't fit. It's too big, too heavy, the wrong shape, and bang, mess returns. Fed up with this endless cycle, I, with my background in engineering, decided to engineer my way out. Our current systems are designed for a simpler time. They just can't keep up with the dynamic pace of modern living. Even the venerable pegboard, which is a relic from 1897, quivers under the weight of our needs. And the home improvement gurus with their short-term fixes like keep only the items that bring you joy, add flowers, or thank your underwear for its service as you throw it away. They're like the Luddites of old, but let's not even go there. And let's rise to the challenge, not shrink from it. The ultimate question I got to is, why is it that there are no standards in home organisation? Engineering principles are applied to everything in the universe apart from our home organisation. Why is it that you can predictably measure a plank of wood, a city, or even the entire universe with unified grid standards? Yet I can't get a Tupperware box to be compatible with my sewing reels, or my screw boxes from the workshop to fit in my sewing room as a needle storage. The whole world of home organisation reminds me of the early days of the internet. Lots of people making stuff, and at best little micro standards that work for one-point solution. by a set of boxes, and they might stack well together with their arbitrary dimensions, but that's it. If you want to put them on the wall, for example, then you need to make a randomly sized shelf and screw it arbitrarily to a random piece that just feels right on the wall. Why not stop following the crowds and instead innovate the heck out of home organisation? Marie Kondo, prepare to scream. The nerds are coming for you. So here's the 3 essential principles of a perfect organisation system. Firstly, the grid. In the beginning, or not long after, relatively speaking, there was a sphere. Then there was another, and another, and lots of others. Nature gravitates towards the circular, whether at the grandest scale of space or the smallest water droplets. We see it in animals, in plants, in cross-sections. Nature loves curves. It likes to round things, to smooth, to erode. But against this rounding of the universe, there's the push of humanity. We seek to order, to structure, to organise things. We begin this process in a haphazard way, with houses and villages popping up randomly. Rocks are shaped individually. Planks are cut roughly. Roads meander around the countryside. But over time, we move towards standardisation. Rocks become chiselled bricks. Logs are sawn into uniform planks, and streets and houses are placed into ordered grids. This is one of the requirements of our home organisation system: predictable grids, to which everything conforms. Without this, we will constantly bang up against limitations and things that don't fit. Secondly, interconnectivity. Older measurement systems, like imperial, reduced the world to cognitive grids of inches, feet, chains, furlongs, grains, ounces, pounds, teaspoons, cups, pints, acres, and many more. These were based on the real size of something, like the foot goes back to 2000 BC as a measurement. The trouble is that some feet are bigger than others, and so this crude informal system varied from one village to the next. And so metric, kilometres, metres, centimetres, was invented. And this was based on an immutable property of the universe: the distance travels by light in a vacuum. This meant that not only that these units were standardised, but that they could now be converted from one type to another. Thus, 100 grams of pure water is the same as 100 millilitres, which is the same as 100 millilitres cubed. This is the second requirement of home organisation. There should be connectivity between all the standards. You should be able to move one piece into another system instantly. This is like an API for clutter. If I want to move things from my wall to the drawer, then I should be able to do that. Which brings us to modularity. Engineers have gone through this evolution over the last 30 years. Nowadays, websites are highly grid-based, highly modularised, and super adaptive. Atomic design principles like this reduce every part of a website to the smallest useful component, which allows you to then build and mix and match, much like using Lego bricks. It just becomes child's play and highly standardised. Now, with these principles in mind, I devoured thousands of pages of forum posts, Reddit screeds, home organisation videos and more. I distilled dozens of modular systems, filtered out the flawed ones, and narrowed the field. There was never going to be one magic solution that could somehow do everything, but I emerged with 4 solutions that are open source, modular, fit a grid, and with a little engineering on my part, interoperate beautifully. Let me introduce you to the 4 standards of a hyper-organised home. Okay, there's obviously a difference between storing screws and microchips to storing bikes and chainsaws. Likewise, there are different places where systems are used. The wall versus the floor, the drawer versus the cupboard. But when analysed, there's basically 4 conditions where storage systems strain. Firstly, small item organisation on flat surfaces. Think USB cables in drawers, SD cards, paper clips, screws. You know exactly the drawers I'm talking about. Secondly, large item organisation on flat surfaces. Think clothes in drawers, kitchen utensils, chaos in action. Then we have wall storage for small parts, things that you need to be visible in workshops, kitchens and craft rooms. And then wall storage for heavy parts. How do you hang the bike in the garage or those tools on the wall? So I'm about to tell you the 4 solutions that I believe you need to solve every organisational problem. Firstly, for the small part organisation on flat surfaces, I recommend Gridfinity. This system is the king of flat surfaces, with an arsenal of free, customisable components that'll make your heart skip a beat. Gridfinity operates with a 42mm grid. It has an amazing array of hundreds of thousands of solutions for just about every part of your house. It caters for every use case, with options for click mounting, magnetic mounts, windowed boxes, and so much more. I've also built many free objects that you'll see throughout this video and that I've dropped on my site. For larger part organisation, I've done it myself. NeoGrid. A weakness of Gridfinity is where you start dealing with those bulkier items. So for this, I've created my own tailored grid-based system that I've called NeoGrid. I'll share this totally free and open source so you can customise to your heart's content. I've based it on 42mm increments, which allows it to interoperate beautifully with Gridfinity. And it works by letting you add dividers across your house using, for example, acrylic or wooden pieces. This allows you to blend drawers to have part NeoGrid for the larger items and part Gridfinity for the smaller pieces. But what about the walls, I hear you say? Now for the verticals, Gridfinity is weak. It isn't designed for vertical surfaces, but there's a solution for this too. Multiboard. It's riffed off the various wall mount solutions like pegboard, honeycomb wall systems and more, and it's tackled all their weaknesses, added loads of features, and it's built around a really strong design that will support loads of weight, around 20 kilograms per peg hole and T-bolt in testing, although I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. It allows you to click in parts, add pegboard style inserts, and most importantly, also has a screw-in mechanism. It is incredibly versatile, and although it can technically do the horizontal, it simply doesn't compete with Gridfinity in that domain as a popular standard. But this doesn't matter, because with our condition of interoperability, I've got on my site a whole bunch of converters that allow you to create Gridfinity shelves that work with multiboard. I told you that interoperability concept might be useful. So that sorts out the walls, except for really heavyweight objects. And there's something out there for that too. And if it's good enough for lifting the Mona Lisa, I reckon it's good enough for holding my clumps. I'm talking about French cleats. Here, the noble French cleat reigns supreme and is a brilliant solution for any picture frames, workshop items, kitchen cabinets, anything that really needs the ultimate strength. Its simple 45-degree bevel design means a grid of French cleats remains highly modular and flexible. So that's our 4 systems, and they solve everything that I can think about. Tight interconnectivity between these systems ensures flexibility and adaptability, allowing you to move items from the wall to the drawer and from the multi-grid to the French cleat without any effort being required. There's also legacy converters available, so you can bring all of the storage solutions that you bought for your pegboard or honeycomb wall system and everything else into the future. Is your mind starting to whir with the potential? The only real requirement for all this is a 3D printer. You did buy the 3D printer like I told you in the last video, didn't you? With the stuff in this video alone, it'll pay for itself. So don't make me come over there with my clamps. You need a 3D printer. So in the coming weeks, I'm going to break down how I'm organising each room to bring this approach to life. You'll see how my workshop is changing, my sewing room is transforming, my dressing room is modularising, and so much more. I'm super excited to tour you through the approaches I'm taking in each room to bring next generation organisation to them. And there's going to be hundreds of free components that I'll share, as well as tips, plans and standardised approaches. I've 3D printed over 1,000 objects in the last few weeks alone. It's honestly the coolest thing that you'll ever see. But here's my challenge to you. Share the item that's been a thorn in your organisational side. What is it that just always ends up a mess? I want to solve everything here. I want to stress test the heck out of this methodology. So let me know and I'll get designing any extra parts required. Stay tuned because we're about to revolutionise home organisation one innovation at a time. So catch you in the next video where the revolution begins.